Have you ever just sat back for hours at a time, zoning out, endlessly exhausted, seeing chaos on the news and social media's just collapsing, drama, stress, time ticking away, and something snaps you out of it or you crash hard, be it pulled away by a loved one, a friend, a family member, or just in general a fictional character, for instance, a song, writing, just seeing something motivational and inspirational that just hits you hard, where you just kind of take a moment to reflect. That happened to me recently with Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel, and multiple things that these characters have said and sung that had hit way too close to home and heart and feels, just nothing but feels for a while, where I had done so much thinking that I just stopped for a second and refocused. Every single time that I had been envious or perfectionistic and holding myself back, zone-outs, burnouts, art block, you name it, it was just one problem. It was just myself trying to give myself a solid future and putting my time and efforts into things that ended up going to waste. We are already 3 months in, and the goals that I have set from the beginning have been fluctuating already. Kind of going back to last year's kind of thing where I am just trying to get myself out of a funk. I feel passion and proud with the illustrations that I have made, especially the ones more recently, but that happens every single time. Every single month, every single year, I look back and I feel so proud of what I've accomplished, but sometimes it just hits me too hard some days where I just feel like I have failed miserably and want to just set everything aside, and I leave it for weeks to months, and it can be very frustrating, not only for me but for those who have been following along for so long and seeing it through my art very clearly, everything that's going on for me put into artwork. I feel like one of the best examples of this was when I had created my persona Blight. The meaning was literally disease when I looked up a name that I wanted to just reflect certain things, and it sounds really bad, but the definition of literally spoiling and damaging something, and a terrible coping mechanism and excuses of self-care by shutting down and just sitting in an enclosed space for hours at a time because I was used to having to do that to escape from very toxic and verbally assaulted situations that made me feel like I couldn't just be an individual, and I am years past that now. It's been at least 2 to 4 years since I've been anywhere near any of that kind of environment, even with cutting off communications of certain people that I don't need to have in my life anymore because it is much healthier, safer, and has been more productive for me to just focus on myself and my family and my friends that are important to me, and the projects that I have been working on and all of that stuff, where I had unintentionally self-sabotaged every single time that I was not doing something that I had wanted to because of fears and doubts and envy and jealousy and all of these things that were just rattling in my brain. Constantly, the void that I have created in my brain has weirdly recently been helping me to recenter and refocus and remind myself, because sometimes you literally just need yourself to tell you that you need to get off your ass and do something, because it's not helping you to just sit there and space out for weeks at a time. The same thing with how I was trying to create a bunch of stuff, and I had to narrow it down, because as much as I would love to create all of the ideas in my head, if I tried to do what I used to do during high school, I don't actually have the time to do that because there are many life things that take up my time. It was something that I learned when growing up, where I realized that I'm not going to have all of the people that I used to in my life anymore for various reasons. I not only will have my own life, they will have their own lives, but also with the time of a day, it is surprising that even when you have a fairly large portion of free time, it can go by so quickly. For instance, a quick example, having 6 hours before you have to go to work sounds like a large portion of time, but let's say you need to take time to cook, you need to clean, you need to make sure that you have your keys, your wallet, your phone, all of those types of things, and you're in your uniform, and you also have other responsibilities to take care of. Checking messages, you want to draw, you want to listen to music. Each of these things takes time, and before you know it, you only have about 2 hours or so, give or take, depending on how fast you can work on things, before you have to go. For me personally, I'm one of those people that if I know I have another obligation for the day, unfortunately, that obligation overpowers every other thing that I have to do. So I have to pretend sometimes that like my YouTube or my comics or all these things are my main priority for that day and the biggest objective that I have to do, or else I end up avoiding it because I'm too worried that something's gonna take away my time. And this is a bad habit from younger years where I had that happen. I'd be working on something and be called away by so many different people having me to do things that I was not able to get away from. It was one of those, it's my house, my rules type of things, and other drastic punishments that I've talked about in some of my previous videos with my character Blight and all these other things. I had created Blight as a coping art kind of thing, and it was helpful to make these vent illustrations, but I also realized that when I was working last year on nothing but reference sheets for the characters so that I could further my artwork, I was forgetting to do a large portion of expressions, poses, giving these characters proper personality and life, and then the other more important thing was backgrounds, rendering, all these things, and working on this particular piece and seeing these characters and even listening to songs and quotes from Hazbin and Hell of a Boss and all of this stuff has kind of broken me out of that funk where I realized that if I don't actually put in the time and effort to get these things that are stuck in my brain out onto paper, I'm the only one who's going to know that they exist, and I'm probably the only one who's going to be actually caring for it, because as much as I love sharing all of the little clips that I do, the little sketches that I do, it is not a full thing that can be digested. It's one of those things where if you are a creator or a consumer of things, and I have accidentally just become nothing but a consumer for months on end, where I have been following so many people on social medias. I literally made a video like a year or two ago where I had 100 of the people that I had followed on a regular basis. I had notifications for each and every single one of them, and seeing all of those notifications takes up quite a large portion of time trying to keep tabs on them. It's nice every now and again to sit back and relax and watch and listen to it. It's the same reason why I worry about the hyperfixation kind of thing that happens. But then I remember that there are tons of people who enjoy that kind of stuff, and it's not the only thing that I have to be known for. That's why I make original characters, fan artwork, and tons of various other projects, and share some story times that I enjoy and genuinely want to share, because as much as I would love to get all of the ideas in my brain out, I wouldn't be able to, like, realistically, like, I gotta set myself some limitations, or I'm not gonna be able to actually share all of these. When I come up with the schedules for YouTube, I'm gonna be honest here, a large portion of it kind of wavers on the fact that if I haven't preset time, like for this video as an example, I knew that I had this illustration, it was done and up on TikTok a long time ago, but I had to work on the script, I had to work on making sure that I could have all of this stuff set up by Sunday the 10th. And then, after I finished this video, something that you guys haven't seen because this is already like ahead of its time, like I finished this a few days before you guys are seeing this, because you guys don't know all of that stuff unless you follow me on TikTok and on my Patreon for some of the things where I share what's going on, but even then, still, there are hundreds of things that I end up doing in a day that you guys don't know about for all of that stuff that leads up to these particular videos. And at some point I would love to be able to share with you the behind the scenes process of some of those things and break down what it's like for me to figure out videos. Like, holiday videos are probably one of the easiest ones for me. It's the ones that are in between, especially if I get hyper focused and have an idea in my head and work on a project for weeks at a time and actually put like a large portion of effort into it. I would love to be able to have little funny pop-ups on screen, to be able to have references, to have all of that kind of stuff. The most that I have been able to recently do was my newly rendered and like animated PNG thing that's on the screen for my art, where you can see me drawing in the corner and all kinds of expressions and things like that, but I want to add more to it. However, it's like with my comic that I had to put on hiatus. when things get so far behind for me, I have to play the game of catch-up, and it's more important to me that I put these things on pause instead of just throwing out a bunch of drafts. And this particular illustration, I can happily say, from start to finish, is one that I am very happy and proud to share with you, and whether it be Sonic and Shadow or recently Vox and Alistair, whatever comes around when it comes to fan artwork, I'm excited to share it all with you, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed it and also enjoy just hearing me talk about these things that I genuinely enjoy, and I'm not boxing myself up or masking it like I used to when I first started on YouTube, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm more confident and I'm having a lot more fun with this. So thank you so very much, and let's take a closer look at the Vox illustration.
What did you just say?
You heard me.
Alistair came back, and he is with Lucifer's daughter, and that wasn't the first thing you told me!
That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so very much. If you have not already, don't forget to leave some likes and comments, and subscribe to join the Subscribblers squad. In the meantime, don't forget to check out some of my playlists, and if you would like any fan artwork featured at the end of the video in the Subscribblers gallery, tag me in it. I would love to see what you guys make, and if you'd like to support my works and see more, check out my card link below, especially for the patron exclusive rewards. £2 a month, the Fennec Fox tier gets you access to secret sketches and artwork early. The Arctic Foxes, for £5 a month, you get exclusive access to videos and webtoons pages early, and the Red Foxes have the opportunity to be featured as a background character or a commission instead, and your name read out at the end of the videos just like this. Thank you so much to Frankie Jr. 13 and Spot Draws. Stay possum, Subscribblers, and I'll see you real soon.